Kansas News Leader. This segment sponsored by Carlson Financial.
A lot of people wonder if they should stay in their current home when they retire. It is an emotional decision as well as a financial one. You're balancing a lifetime of memories with increased upkeep expenses, and like physically if you're able to do it all. Carl Carlson is founder and CEO of Carlson Financial, here to help us unpack all of this. And it is a big decision.
It is a big decision, and for many people, of course, it depends on a lot of factors. But in your financial plan, you build that plan. It will also guide you. That plan will guide you in certain directions, whether you should keep your home, sell your home. Oftentimes now, I think historically a lot of people thought we have our big home with our family. When we retire, kids are gone, we'll sell the big home, buy a smaller home. And if they had a mortgage left, then the smaller home, you sell the bigger one, pay the mortgage off, buy the smaller. Problem in today's world that a lot of people are finding out, if they sell their bigger home and buy a smaller one, the smaller one is more expensive than the one they just sold.
Housing market's been different.
Yeah, so now that makes it more difficult. If you don't have a mortgage, it's definitely going to be easier to stay in that current home. You're used to it. You're used to your neighbors being around. You have a social network there, so that there's some help there if something happens to you. A neighbor that's known you for a long time doesn't see you doing your normal routine that day. They're going to check up on you, and so that's kind of nice to have that. But if something's going to happen, and at some point, if you start to get some dementia or things like that,
maybe some physical issues with taking care of your own home. Yeah. What are the other options if we don't stay in our own home or downsize? Then what are the other things we can consider?
So one of the things we're seeing more and more of are where you can go into a community, and in that community they have kind of a step system, where now if you're in there, maybe you own a home in there, maybe it's a really nice community, you can get meals there, they have a restaurant there, but they also have something where if you had a stroke there and now you're having some mental issues or problems or walking, things like that, they can step you up to another degree where now maybe it's more assisted living, and then they can step you up to total nursing, and it's all within the same community, which makes it easier, way easier to transition to that kind of stuff. If you're in your home and something like that happened, you have to deal with selling that home, and that's stressful. You have to deal with moving, and what are you going to do with all your furniture, because you're going to a much smaller community home. So oftentimes it's easy, and I know it's sometimes hard if you've grown up there with your kids and you got all those memories there, but it can be good. And depending on your age, the older you get and the healthier you get, the more you maybe want to be thinking about doing something like that while you're still good. And you've been, okay, this has been awesome. I'm 85, I've lived where I want, I've lived on my own. And but now, maybe I should go think about that.
And sometimes people think those sorts of options can be more expensive. So what about renting a traditional apartment that's just in a regular apartment setting?
Yeah, that's a definite thing somebody can do too, because now you're kind of in an apartment complex. The rent is going to be lower likely than if you stayed even based on staying in a home with no mortgage. You're going to have a lot of costs and repair and upkeep, and now you got to have somebody mowing the yard and taking care of the yard and all that. If you go to the apartment, and if it's just you, a studio, well, your cost may be less than if you're in the home,
and somebody's doing the maintenance for you,
and your work is way less.
So a lot of considerations make it part of your financial plan.
Yep.
Okay, as always, we have to plan.
Yes,
Appreciate
exactly.
you very much, Carl. Thanks for the insights.
You bet.
We'll have your forecast next.